way you can. I don't understand that.
Sorry,
But,
I forgot to start the record, so we're running a little late, but sorry about that.
It's okay. So anyway, that's my why, and it's a pretty strong. I heard Dr. Boz this. I've been watching her Tuesday support group, and I think she said, or maybe it was in the evening, she said your why should be very selfish. You should have a very selfish reason for your why. And I think I do. I think I do.
Yeah.
I very much want to avoid what my father had to go through and what my aunts went through. So.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I have Alzheimer's in my family, and I would definitely like to avoid that. So it's a great why, and maybe it's selfish, but maybe it's actually selfless because you help your family. So
hopefully.
okay, who next wants to talk to us about their why?
I'll go. This is Hilda.
Hi, Hilda.
I was telling Elizabeth when she first started that I'm off camera tonight. I'm not feeling real great, so I'm not I'm not camera ready. But I too have a really strong why. But before I start, I wanted to say, Jenny, if I were going to cheat with bread, it would be on sourdough. So I hear you, and I understand sourdough is probably one of the best choices you can make if you're going to eat bread. And I also, I actually, Patricia, like you, I have extreme longevity in my family on both sides. My father recently passed away, but he was a week short of 88. My mother-in-law, which I know is not blood related to me, but she's 94. Most of my grandparents lived to their late 80s. So I know I have extreme longevity, but my family also had extreme health issues, either not being able to walk, diabetes, blindness, glaucoma, like I said, Alzheimer's. And it's such a burden on the family when it's like that. So, and on top of that, I was absolutely enormous when I started and when I first heard about Dr. Boz and started this. And I had started getting where I was falling down. And my father, my husband and my son would have to try to get me back up. And to this day, I still cannot stand or walk unassisted. And this started back late in 2018. I'm working on it. I'm trying to improve. But knowing that I'm probably going to live for another 20 or 25 years, I need my health to be as good as possible. I want to be as self-reliant as possible and not be a burden on my husband and my child and my grandchild. And I don't know if that sounds selfish or not, but I want to be healthy for all of our sakes.
Well, I can certainly understand that. I don't like having to depend on other people myself. And I think we can all relate to not wanting to get in our later years and be a burden to our families. We want to be able to enjoy them and them enjoy us. So thank you, Hilda. So someone else who hasn't shared, Shirley on the phone, would you like to share your why?
I wonder if you need to unmute her since we can't see her. Maybe she's talking and we don't know she's talking.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you hear
There
me
you
now?
go, Shirley.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little older than some of y'all. I'm 77, but I'm in basically very good health. I do have a little high blood pressure, arthritis, but I see my friends that we've been friends over 50 years. One's in a wheelchair. She was a bad diabetic. She can't, it's sad. It's just real sad. Her husband's taking care of her. he can hardly, lift her up in the bed. Then I have another friend that lives away, and she can't walk, and different things. I have a great family. I love my grandchildren, and my first why was my grandson's 18. He'll graduate in May, and a year ago in August, I could not walk, and the only help, I was real swollen. The only help I had from my doctor was, oh, well, you're eating salt, and I had been on keto for, I guess, a year and a half. I had not lost any weight, but then she kept telling me, you're eating too much fat, blah, 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 blah. So I said, okay, I'll do it your way. And I gained like 50 pounds in 3 months.
Oh
And
my.
so when I left there, I said to the nurse, I said, I know what works for me. It's keto. I had done Dr. Boz's course, and that, I think it was April. And I'm going to eat salt. And I went, and I've lost 65 pounds in a
Very
year.
good.
And I'm walking, and I'm doing really well. And I told my physician, and I don't change because I don't think there's anyone that's keto friendly in Shreveport.
Mhm.
But anyway, I told her, I said, I feel better than I ever have in my entire life. And I do. I do not ache. I do not. I can go. I've started taking aerobics in, I think it was the end of July, and I'm doing real well with that. I had a plus that kind of happened. It scared me, but my blood pressure went down, and I happened to have, when I had a little chest pain, she sent me to a cardiologist a couple of years ago. But anyway, I had an appointment with him every 6 months. So I went in, and he said, I'm going to reward you for doing your exercise and your weight loss. He said, I'm going to cut your medication. And then he decided, because it went to 55 over 99 the other day. And I haven't felt good in last few weeks. And I couldn't figure out why. I just don't have the energy. Well, it's because my blood pressure's been too low. I've always been told that the number on top never doesn't matter. Well, guess what, girls? It does. People, I should say, it does. And so he changed. Today's my first day. Changed my medication where I take one of them in the morning, one at night, and if it gets below 110 over whatever, I'm to call the nurse. And he said, and when she calls, just half that pill. So I got tickled, but so my why now, hey, I want to keep me living as long as I can and be in good health and have great independent living. My family's been very good about, I go to these functions and it doesn't bother me what they're eating. And I think that's a real big plus. My husband, he supports me, but he doesn't do it. I wish he would, but he just hadn't done it. But anyway, I'm looking forward to getting stronger and better. And I love that you're doing this. And I like to hear people's stories. But it's amazing to me, it's the little things. Like I was sitting on the bench in the gym, and I picked up my right leg and just put it on my thigh without even thinking to put my shoes on. And a few months ago or last year, honey, I'd have had to pull that sock up to get that leg, over my knee. And to me, that's gold. That's just gold. So that's my reason. Just be healthy.
Well, Shirley, I don't know if you can see us. Can you see us?
Yes, I can see
Oh,
you.
good.
Yeah.
I hope you saw everybody clapping for you.
No, I
Because,
didn't see that. I can only see you.
oh, okay.
But thank you.
But
I think-
we've got 12 people here, including me, and a good number of us were clapping and putting thumbs up for you, Shirley, because your
Oh,
story is inspiring. You're 77 and you're doing positive things for your health, and your why is great. So, who else would like to share their why?
Hello, this is Scott. I'd like to mention something. So, yeah, my why, I've got a number of whys. First of all, cancer runs in my family, and so I'd like to avoid getting cancer. And blood sugar problems run in my family as well, and I'd like to avoid that as well. And the other thing is, before I went on to keto, I was not able to eat dairy. I would react to dairy badly. I couldn't have any milk product or butter or anything. But since going on to keto, it's fine. And the other thing is, I had problems with gas for a number of years, and as soon as I went on to keto, there's no more gas. The other thing is, my breath was bad. I had, and the thing is, well, as my wife can attest, I mean, I could gargle with a gallon of of mouthwash and it'd still be bad, which means that the problem was not in my mouth; it had to be something in my stomach. And so the thing is, I mean, if a person has a lot of gas and a person has bad breath that's coming from their stomach, well, then you know that there's something going wrong with the digestion, and that's that can't be good. I mean, if your digestion is not working correctly, that can't be good. And so those problems went away with keto, so it was great. And I want to support my wife as well in what she's doing and doing keto, and so I'm right in there with her doing keto. The other thing is, I mean, I've seen so many great results for so many people. We have a number of nieces and nephews who are on keto, and they've done great with it as well. Another reason is that I am very disappointed in the USDA, and I don't want to purchase carbs and support the carb industry, I guess you could call it. But the other thing is, the USDA, back in the 50s, the USDA came up with this food pyramid that has, carbs as the biggest chunk of it.
right.
And that is what has caused all sorts of, all the diabetes, all the diabetes and obesity and cancer and stuff. Well, that's to a large extent, that's what's caused it. Because think back to the 1950s, there were very few people that were overweight. I think back even to the 70s, and how much how much obesity is going on now, and obesity in young kids. You see young kids that are horribly overweight, and it's because of this food pyramid that the USDA came up with.
That's right.
And so, I still haven't talked with the person that teaches nutrition at the college that I work at, but, hopefully I can convince them of the value of keto, because, I mean, if you're teaching a nutrition course, well, hopefully you can change a few minds in the, the students that are in the course. But anyway, I teach biology, and so, I'll be including a lecture on keto next semester in my courses. I'm not teaching courses right now this semester, but next semester. So, those are my whys then. Yeah.
Mhm. Thanks, Scott. On that note, we have a friend that actually works for the North Dakota agricultural conglomerate here, and she goes around to the various elementary, middle schools, and high schools and teaches the food pyramid.
Yeah. And she's paid by USDA.
Yeah, she's paid
Yeah.
by the USDA. And she met someone, not us, that had done keto and turned around his diabetes, and he had had cancer, and and everything. And she started thinking, and then I ran into her last week and I talked to her because she noticed, wow, have you lost weight? I'm like, yeah, about 100 pounds. And I told her, I said, I'm sorry, but your food chart, your pyramid is wrong. And she says, I'm afraid it is. And she says, but I'm bound by my contract to keep teaching it. And I'm like, man, I just don't know if I could do that. I really just don't know if I could, you know. So she was going to try and join us at some time. She was going to get one of the books and read them first, and then try and join us. Now, Wilma has her hand up. She's ready to share her why. So let's listen to Wilma.
Well, my why originally started out as wanting to lose weight because I had gained an awful lot of weight. And with that, I had a lot of joint pain, a lot of inflammation. I have diabetes in my family, heart problems in my family. So I had no energy to do anything. I just sat and didn't do much of anything. We couldn't travel. And so now, as of this morning, after 2.5 years and following Dr. Boz since about January, I made 125 pounds off.
Wow. Whoa. Oh,
Wow, that
group
is
clap.
fantastic.
But with
Yeah.
that, I have energy. Like today, I've been doing stuff in the house. I've been going from my attic to down 2 floors to the basement, making copies of things, going back upstairs to the attic. Did that for an hour tonight, several trips. Was not winded. My joints didn't hurt. My knees didn't hurt. It's really nice to be able to do stuff, be able to travel, not be tired. And it had gotten to the point with my knee pain and stuff, I couldn't get my shoes on. Now I can put my shoes on. And so the health benefits are outweigh everything. I could travel in an airplane and not feel bad because I don't have to be embarrassed about asking for the seatbelt extension.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm a believer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. You're just amazing, Wilma, and keep it up. Now, do you have a husband that is keto with you, or
And he started eating keto in March.
okay?
He's not as strict as I am, but he's still, we've gotten all the carbs out of the house and everything.
Yeah, because Scott is 6'5" or 6. What are you? 6'5" or 6'3", and he only weighs like 160 pounds. He isn't as
Yeah,
strict.
6'5", yeah.
Yeah, he's 6'5". He isn't as strict on his carbs as I am. I have to be pretty strict on my carbs, but he isn't as strict on his carbs. But compared to what he was eating before, it's just amazing how
I
he
love
has.
granola.
Yes, yeah, he loved granola a lot. But do you miss it a lot?
I don't miss the granola. And, surprisingly, I don't miss the popcorn either, because I was a major popcorn eater as well. And apples, and oranges, I don't really miss them that much.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, so who wants to share next? Dina, John?
No, I'm not sharing yet, but I was gonna say that you said there's about 12 people on here right now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody wants to play this game, but I'm thinking that this would be mind blowing if everybody just put over in their chat over there, because we can see your name if you type something, so you don't have to put your name, and just put the number. I know this, we don't want people to join. Well, if they join keto for weight loss and they stick with it, they will eventually come around and they'll see all the other benefits. So it's okay to join, to get on the bandwagon of keto, even if it's just for weight. But I'm thinking it's mind blowing to me in these 12 people, we might have to take Scott out because he's never started out with it. But I'll say, so 11 people, what on earth, the total number of pounds just from this group? And
Well,
maybe
even
everybody-
Scott has lost some weight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Scott, you're back in. You're
Yeah,
back in.
I have to
Okay.
make sure that I eat enough calories per day to maintain my weight, because yes, I will lose on keto, even
Yeah.
though I'm skinny anyway. Yep.
Anyway, I just thought with this being the initial Keto Confab meeting,
Mhm.
I just think it would be really interesting before the meeting blows up and we've got, 57
8,000
people.
people, yeah.
You're talking 12 individuals, and there are just Hilda, Wilma, Shirley, you, just the four of you. I don't know if Patricia shared exactly, but that's mind blowing. I mean, it's got to be over. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, well.
See, look at Hilda, 192 pounds.
Yeah. And me 100, so we're almost at 300.
So anyway, I just thought of that as Wilma was sharing, and I thought, wouldn't that be an interesting statistic for you to be able to throw out there, in the future? I started my group. We had 12 people show up at the first meeting, and collectively, even when people weren't at their goal weights, of the 12 people, whatever, there were 1,000 pounds lost, or 800, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Anyway, that was just a thought.
Way to go, John, 98 since February. Wow. And Jenny, 32, great, fabulous. So that's a good thing, Dina. So, wow, Patricia, 65. Yeah, well, I've got about 60 more to go too, Patricia. So you and me, we're going to get rid of them.
Well, it's up to you to go back and do the math for us later.
Yeah, I'll do the
okay?
math
And
later.
you can, let us know.
Okay, so who wants to share next? I'm interested to hear why John got started with keto in February and what his why is.
Oh, okay. Well, it's February 2019, so it's
Okay.
it's almost, it'll be 3 years here shortly.
Okay.
I went in for my physical, and I was pre-diabetic, and they wanted me to do the glucose resistance test. So I was like, I wonder what that is. And I did a Google search, and then I stumbled across keto in the Google search, and started watching some Dr. Boz YouTubes at that point. And I'm like, well, I guess, I really had, done the standard American diet thing with whole grains. I was eating oatmeal every morning, and grape nuts every morning, and juice, and, skim milk, and a slice of toast with some fake butter on it. And I just wasn't losing weight. I had gone from being in the Air Force, getting out of the Air Force in 95, I was about 210, maybe a little bit more than that when I got out. And I was running, I ran a couple of half marathons and everything like that. And I slowly had gained weight also. But so when I saw the videos on reducing, working on blood sugar, which would help me lose weight, and I took off about probably 45 pounds in the first 3 or 4 months. And then, of course, started eating a little bit more carbs and stuff, and went back up. But it actually has become, the why now is more along the lines of, I've had both my hips replaced and had my knees x-rayed, and they're both bone on bone, although the right one is fine nowadays, but the left one really aches pretty much every day. and I can't run anymore. So hopefully that's the goal, is sometime, I'll be 61 this coming Sunday. So hopefully before I get to the other side of the dirt, I'll be able to at least jog a mile again. That's my ultimate goal. And that's kind of my why, continue improving my health with keto, because I have had nothing but good results unless you talk to a doctor about cholesterol, and I don't pay attention to that anymore. So that's me.
Yeah. Um,
Great, John.
that's great, John. It sure does help our joints to get the weight off them, and to be more healthy. And we all, well, I know my cholesterol was higher than it had ever been after I'd been on Dr. Bos's keto for like 4.5 months. But I wasn't worried because I had watched her video about cholesterol and how it goes up at first and then after 6 months. And that's what I told my doctor. She's like, okay, I'll save the talk about the cholesterol drugs until the next time you come in. And then I had to get an insurance, what's that called? Physical. And my cholesterol had already started coming down because I was at 5.5 months. So I'm not concerned about it. They can be as concerned as they want to be. I mean, if that helps them, but whatever. So I'm writing down everybody's. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 people's. Shirley,
Yes.
how much weight have you been able to lose, ma'am?
Oh, I lost 65 pounds,
Fabulous.
but I got 65 more to go. But
Hey, yeah. Well,
that-
hey,
that's
I hear you. You know, it's a process. Okay. So we got someone new on the iPhone. Could you unmute yourself and tell us your name?
Is it me, Viola?
Yes. Hi, Viola.
Hi, my name is Viola, and I'm here in Sacramento, California.
Okay, great. We finally have a West Coaster. Okay, so tonight, Viola, we're concentrating on our whys and sharing our whys with everyone and a little bit of our stories along the way, because that explains our whys and everything. Would you like to share or no?
Sure. I started following Dr. Boz because I ended up with sciatica.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, so and I was 407 pounds at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually introduced into Dr. Boz by a chiropractor's wife. So she had been following Dr. Boz, and she said, check out her YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so I checked out her YouTube, and along the same time, Dr. Boz did her class,
Mm-hmm.
the Keto Continuum. So I just jumped in and been following Dr. Boz since then. So it's been over a year,
Okay.
and I still have my downfalls.
Oh, yeah.
And
Don't we all?
but I know what to do. So,
Mhm.
and just continuing on with Dr. Boz, and so far I've lost 115 pounds.
Wow. That's
So
fabulous.
still,
Fabulous.
yes.
We're clapping
Thank you.
for you, Viola.
I'm not done yet reaching my goal, but baby steps. We'll eventually
Yes.
get there.
Yes. That's fabulous. And, your health in general has improved as well, Viola?
Yes, my A1C when I first started, it was at a 9, and I believe my last A1C was 5.4.
Oh, that is fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another round of applause for Viola. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. They keep on wanting to put me on cholesterol medicine that I tell I'm on a high fat diet. So if everything else is fine, just leave me alone and we'll just keep evaluating.
Way to
All
go. Way to go. Way to go.
Uh,
It's called you being able to make your own healthcare decisions, you know, and taking responsibility for your own health. And I understand they mean well, but you know, anyway, listen, Jenny had her hand up there for a minute. Jenny, did you want to add something?
That was not a hand, that was a clap.
Oh, that was a clap. Wilma, were you clapping too, or were you wanting to say something?
I was just clapping.
Okay, but see, everybody's clapping for you, Viola. So let's see, who haven't we heard from? Let's see, Billy Ann, Joan, and Martha. Would any of you like to tell us your whys?
This is Martha.
Hi, Martha.
Hi. I'm very glad that we have a group that we can discuss our keto challenges.
Yes.
And my why is because I want to stay healthy and active because I was a caregiver last year and now I am in a different lifestyle by myself, and it's very important to me to stay as healthy as I can be. In 2019, I was on keto and I lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
But during last year, I gained 550 of it back. So now I'm trying to get my life back on track, and I started my strict keto again this week. So
Good
I
for
need
you,
all
Martha.
the encouragement you can share.
Well, we're all clapping for you, Martha, and we're wanting you to get right back up on the horse and get into your new healthy lifestyle again and get those 50 pounds off again. So go ahead.
I was going to say I was so disappointed when I started gaining the weight back, but I could tell it was definitely because of what I was doing, not because keto failed me. I failed keto. So now I just need a little encouragement, and I really appreciate having this group to tune into.
Well, we're glad you're here because that's what this is about, is supporting each other. We're building a tribe here, and we're going to be here to support each other when we're doing good stuff and when we're being naughty. And because stuff happens. I was talking to a friend this week who had started keto with me, and she has deviated a little bit because her boyfriend has been very ill with COVID, and she's been taking care of him. And she's just been so exhausted taking care of him. It's so easy to just grab something in a package and just shove it in your mouth,
It certainly is.
And she says one of the biggest problems she's noticed for her is that her boyfriend now just doesn't have any energy, so he lays around watching the television all the time, and all those food commercials drive her crazy. And so I told her, I said, could you make him watch Netflix or something without commercials? I mean, come on, because I would be bothered by those commercials as well. They're killer. Mhm. So thank you very much, Martha. Billy Ann or Joan or Dina?
See, I just wanted to share with Martha that I too had fallen off and am about the same time frame as you getting back on in the last week.
Mhm.
So it's been just a little bit over a week, and I'm I think what I found is a little bit frustrating is I know what to do, and I want to get right back in where I left off
Yes.
because I know what to do. And I accidentally fell into like the OMAD, for example, when I had been doing it before. It was accidental. It was very simple for me. The best was that it was accidental, so I wasn't even trying. And so I find myself now almost wanting to be at that step and then I have to remember that I was very, very methodical getting to that place
Yes.
the first time. And we didn't even have the workbook, but I was part of the inaugural Keto Continuum or Consistently Keto online class. And because we were forced to do the course over such a long period of time, we had a whole week to do the first module, and nobody was unlocked until that week was over. And
Sure.
we did the live question and answer. Then it was unlocked for all 1,000 of us. And then all 1,000 of us did the second week together, or the second module together. I mean, separately together. We had a week.
Sure.
And so it really forced us to process and go back and rewatch the videos again and again, because you had a whole week. So if you just cruise through them all in one day, that's fine. But then you had a whole week to just kind of, absorb it and rewatch and stuff, and do the worksheets that were part of the PDF part. Now we have the workbook. And so I'd be interested to hear what Martha, this is a little bit off, this isn't really our why thing, but if Martha has the workbook and if she's going to try to follow that, or if because she knows what she's doing, is she kind of trying to just do it all on her own. But I know she's here, so she's not trying to do it completely on her own, because being here says
I do not. Yes, this is Martha, and I do not have the workbook. I was in the first keto group with Dr. Boz there, but that was during COVID, and so I don't know where to get the workbook.
It's available on Amazon or Dr. Boz's website. And
Okay.
have you gotten or read her second book?
No.
Yeah, this book came out, I think, December last year, right, Dina?
I think it was January when it finally came out, I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but
Anyway,
December, January. Mhm.
yeah, December, January this year. And it's the story of David. That's a pseudonym, not his real name, but he's a real person. And it's how he got inspired to start Dr. Boz Keto, and how he kind of stumbled in like a normal person and
Okay.
and wanted to do keto himself. And he's
Okay.
inspiring. His story is inspiring. And the wonderful thing about this book is Dr. Boz is even more detailed about the process, how to
Okay.
really do this the right way. And then she followed it up, I think it was this summer, right, people?
Yeah, she was doing them at the same time. But what happened is the person that was helping her with that workbook, the person that was kind of editing, putting it together, her daughter had a bunch of medical problems or something. And it was something out of Dr. Boz's control, which was unfortunate because everybody was like, where's the workbook? Where's the workbook? It was beyond her control. So they were intended to come out together, but Dr. Boz did not want everybody to wait for the book while they're waiting for the workbook. So she went ahead and released them separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing I was going to tell Martha is, having been part of that inaugural course, you remember the reason that she did the course. For her, it was almost a selfish why. She knew she was going to help people, but she figured she's stuck in Hawaii. And by stuck, she means she was actually, stuck. It wasn't a pleasant time.
Yes.
And she thought, she had this book that she was working on, which is what you were showing us. And she thought, I'm going to put this out there as a course and I'm going to get feedback from these people about what's working and what's not working. What do I need to explain better? And so in a way, Martha, you helped write the book.
Oh,
Being
well,
part of that
there you
inaugural course. Because
Thank
that's
you
what
very
the book
much.
is. That book is the course. But
go. Okay.
it's then she intertwined the story within it.
Yeah.
And then of course, being in writing, it's a lot more detail, you know. So it's certainly not like redundant. I shouldn't do it.
Okay.
But anyway, if you end up getting those, you know, who knows? Maybe we can be study buddies. You never know. I mean, whatever whatever works.
Sounds good.
Now, Jenny's had her hand up for a little while,
Oh,
so
I just wanted to remind Martha that you took the course. You can go back and take it again. You have that for life.
that's a very good point, Jenny.
Okay.
So, okay, anyone else? We're just past 8 o'clock and I wanted to try and keep this to 8 o'clock. But does anyone have any burning questions, or the last couple of people who haven't shared their why want to share? Or
I
would we?
don't know what I've done. I've tried to, I don't know how I turned off my picture, but can you hear me?
Yes.
I did want to ask a question about what the last comment. When my sister-in-law was here, I showed her the course and I gave her my password, which I believe is allowed.
Yes.
And I told her she would not be able to do the Facebook group, but that I would pass on any important YouTubes that she should see. But anyway, if she's using it, like I'm hoping she is, can I also use it?
Yes. Yeah, that's
But
what's.
doesn't the module thing, it goes one after another?
Yes.
So if
And-
I started using it, wouldn't I interfere with her progress?
Yeah.
You would. Well, she would, like, it's going to remember where you were probably, right? But
Yeah.
you've already been through the whole course, right?
Yeah, that
Patricia?
everything's open.
Yeah.
And once everything's open, it just stays open. I took the course and then I gave my husband the password and he took the course.
But I think what
And-
Patricia, oh, I'm sorry. I think what Patricia's saying is that if her sister or her sister-in-law is 7 minutes into a 14-minute video, and then she goes on and moves on to a third module, her sister or whoever's, when she comes back, it's not going to be waiting for her at that 7-minute mark.
Right.
No, it won't be
Right.
waiting at that 7-minute
Yeah.
mark.
So you have to
Because,
be smart on where you stop.
yeah,
I don't want to interfere with that. I want her to do it.
yeah. I had a niece who did it and my husband and a friend who did it that really needed keto, and so I gave them my password. And then I had a friend who was doing it and she's like, you know what? I want my own for life. I want to be able to get to my own. And so she bought the course. So any other questions? Okay, so I thought each week I'll end the class or the meeting with one tip. And I'll just randomly pick tips that Dr. Boz has given all of us through her class and through her books. And this week's tip is sleep. Sleep is very important. And I realized again this week how important it is for me, both for weight loss, cravings, mental clarity, and also my blood pressure. Because if I don't get enough sleep, my blood pressure will rise. Now, it doesn't go to the sky or anything, but so I just want to remind everyone that a good 8 hours of sleep, using good sleep hygiene, is something Dr. Boz has taught us in her books and in her class. And so that's this week's tip, is everybody needs to go to bed on time and get enough good sleep. So just remember, these recordings will be put on my YouTube page. The meeting is every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central. And next week, we're going to work on the next part of the workbook. I think the next part of the workbook from the why is building your tribe. And that's part of what we're doing here is building our tribe. But I want to hear about your tribes there at home. And then the next part is the supplies and measurements, and we'll talk about that as well. So we'll talk about chronometer and the BHB and the MCT oil, and about the people, not just virtual people like us, but actual people that you've shared keto with or you're doing keto with next week. Okay, any other questions, anyone? Comments? Martha,
enjoy-
you're muted. So, Shirley, were you saying something?
Yes, I enjoyed the meeting and I enjoyed listening to all of y'all and meeting you.
Well, thank
Very
you for
inspiring.
coming in from Shreveport, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. And thanks everyone who came, and I think it was a good meeting. And thanks everybody. Have a good week. Oh, good to see you
Okay.
again, Jenny.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Martha. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Viola.
Thank you. Bye.